Hey guys, it's Vince. Today in this video we're going to be discussing a topic that comes up all the time for me, and it really has nothing per se to do with robotics in terms of a machine as far as hardware or as far as dealing with software issues. What it really has to do with is a general question of people wanting to start a small business, preferably from their house or from, again, a small facility, whether it be a basement or a separate room, or if they are going to have a shop, something on their property where they're not paying for it. And again, it's always a question dealing with selling on eBay, selling online in general, and what is better to do in terms of buying products to flip or actually manufacturing products to sell. Now, I'm going to tell you in all honesty that there is a lot to learn when you go to sell online. Now, I know that sounds kind of ignorant in terms of it being such a simple process today with all of our technology. The problem is that many people that go to sell online don't realize what they're actually getting involved with in terms of having to learn all of the intricate details of business. They think they understand business, but they really don't. And when I say that, I say it openly because as a business owner myself, I order many things online, and a lot of times, like many of you, you'll order something from Amazon and it's thrown in a box. You're lucky to get it in one piece, and this is one of the largest businesses in the world. Again, dealing with just quantity, not really dealing with worrying about the quality of how they project themselves, because at the size they are, they really don't care at that point. Walmart, same thing. We deal with a lot of companies like this. You as a smaller business need to cross every T, dot every I. That means you need to understand all of your carriers. You need to understand lead times. You need to understand what it's like to have a package lost in transit. And most of all, what you need to understand is the fact that you, as a sole business owner, are responsible for your packages up until your client receives them. Now, what that means is that, and this I hear a lot, and again, I've got this on my screen because I actually put in a search for selling on eBay, and you can see all of these people discussing eBay, and a lot of them are complaining about eBay. Oh, we can't sell on eBay, and we have problems selling on eBay, and I'm closing my store, and this, that, and the other thing. And what they usually do is post videos on flipping just general products. They buy in, surplus, whether it be return pallets, whatever it may be, and then they're buying in quantity and they go to flip. Does this business model work? It does work. The issue is this: how many of these people that are in these YouTube videos are experts on any of the stuff that they're actually selling? I want you to really think about what I'm asking you. And think about in terms when somebody asks a question about a piece of clothing or a high dollar watch or Gillette razors or other name brand proprietary components. How many of these people do you feel really care and are considered experts in their field on those components? Many of them are not. And that's the truth. They're not experts. They understand that there's a profit margin to be made, and therefore they go to flip that component for that profit margin. The issue is this: being they're not experts in whatever random products they're selling, that leaves a lot of leeway for them to be crushed in terms of the corporations that actually are manufacturing the products, and also the fact that many of the people buying the products usually know more or are more aware of the end-all be-all result of what is being sold, and will naturally say, hey, you know what, I've received these razors and they're not to spec, or there's something wrong with them. Now, we all know that if they're selling 14,000, 15,000 items in inventory, stuff like this we see here all the time, just boxes and boxes and boxes of inventory, what do you think is going to happen when something sells? Well, I can tell you exactly what something sells. I'm not going to click on any of these videos. You can if you'd like, but I'm going to tell you exactly what happens. Gentleman goes over, pulls whatever component out of a box. He then, after he pulls that component out of a box, he then has somebody or himself ship it. Whether or not quality control is in place, we don't know. Has he actually inspected every garment that he's selling, every widget he's selling? No, he hasn't. He throws it in a box, He basically does what's done overseas and mails it out. Hopefully you get it in one piece. Hopefully the carrier gives it to you the way you expect and the time frame you expect. And if it goes well, it goes well. If it doesn't, then he deals with a return. Now, whether or not that return is going to take place, whether or not he's going to get negative feedback, once again, we go down the rabbit hole and you can see how deep down the rabbit hole you go. But let's look at this a step further. You can see here that many of these guys have boxes and just almost a warehouse facility to hold all of their inventory. Now, here's the thing I want to paint a picture on with robotics and why many of these people who are just simply flipping on eBay are dissipating. And the main reason they're dissipating is because when you own a manufacturing robot, and many of my guys out there are already shaking their head, you know that you can produce based on what sells. That means you're never carrying inventory. That means you never have to worry about holding boxes and boxes of just crap. And there's no other way to put it, but it's crap. Okay? You simply produce a product when a client orders it. Or you produce maybe a small number of products as a client orders it. This gives you a small amount of inventory, and it allows you to control every step of the way of your investment once you own your robot. Now, let's keep that in mind looking at these endless videos. And again, I'm on just the first page here. Okay, you see stores like this. When I see a store like this, you got to ask yourself, how much money is sitting on that shelf? How much money is sitting on that shelf doing nothing, waiting for hopefully someone to find that trinket or that antique of some sort that they've been looking for and say, okay, I want to buy it. How many times do you think that they're just restocking shelves and it just sits there endlessly? How much money do you think they're actually carrying in inventory? And then I want you to ask yourself the same question with your robot. How much inventory do you have to carry to actually fulfill an order? Or better yet, how much are you carrying with the investment of your robot versus their inventory? Okay, I see some of these videos where people drop $14,000, $15,000 on inventory to sit on a shelf, usually not in a building on their property. For whatever God knows reason, they'll decide to rent storage units, which to me is completely ignorant and lack of business knowledge. And what they end up doing is backfilling and backfilling and backfilling and backfilling when us, I should say, in the manufacturing genre, understand that micromanufacturing is growing at such a rapid pace that it's imperative to understand the direct comparison I'm discussing now, because it will show you just how easy a $3,000 to $6,000 micromanufacturing robot is investment-wise in space, time constraint, and automation compared to dealing with this crap. And this is why many of them are failing. Let me paint you a picture. We already discussed previously what happens when somebody ships a product that was purchased on eBay. Let's say it's a Tommy Hilfiger shirt, just for instance. And you get this Tommy Hilfiger shirt, it's got a stain on it. It was probably never inspected. It was probably a store return. You end up sending the shirt back. The guy gets the shirt back, and now he's got to figure out what to do with it. Okay, what is he going to do? Is he going to trash it? Is he going to clean it? Whatever he's going to do with it, okay? Let's paint a different picture. Let's say you're manufacturing, you have your robot, and you get a return. Oh, someone got something, and maybe it was damaged in the mail. You can instantly reproduce that component. Now, there is no such thing as one-off items because you are the manufacturer. You are not dealing with the same headaches that he is if that's a one-off item. What if it's a one-of-a-kind antique? And I see this done a lot, and they don't understand how to package, like many of you experience. And guess what? You might have dropped thousands of dollars and gotten this antique in, only to find you open the box and it's broken. Well, that can't be replaced. So now he's lost money. Then you're probably battling back and forth to some degree because, of course, he's got to fork back the money, and you got to find out what happened, and insurance gets involved. You got to look at the mitigation that owning your own manufacturing robot actually gives you the entitlement of. And that is that you eliminate a lot of these business hassles. There is more engineering on the forefront in terms of you understanding that from the time you develop a product, you also must develop a packaging strategy, implementing proper engineering for the packaging so that naturally all of your components then arrive safely to your clients. And then, of course, you also have to really delegate how you're going to incorporate the proper carriers, whether you use UPS, DHL, USPS, FedEx. I myself, personally, I've worked for UPS when I was going to school, and I can tell you UPS has got some of the best logistics programs in the nation as far as packages being delivered. Now, that being said, if you are unaware of how UPS handles packages, and I think many of us already are, they're brutal when it comes to package handling. However, the package always gets there. You look on the side note of like USPS, which is the United States Post Office, you're dealing with a company that your package may get there and it may not. And these are things to consider. A lot of sellers like to hide behind, well, you know what, it says it's arriving late, so I don't have to worry about it. I can wait a month, or I can wait 2 weeks. And you as a client, me as a client, I would say, no, you need to make this right. You're responsible until I receive that package. Well, many of them that sell on eBay don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that they understand business at a level that says, hey, I took your money and I'm responsible until you get the package. It's called mitigating your risk. McDonald's and big companies do it all the time. You get a cold hamburger, you walk to the front counter and you say, my hamburger's cold. And what does the manager usually do? Give you a new hamburger. Why? Because it's a mitigated loss. That's understanding real business. And just because you're working in a smaller scale does not mean you don't need to understand how real business works, because even though the scalability, it might be smaller than Walmart, it might be smaller than Amazon, it doesn't matter. The principles are still the same. Walmart and Amazon allow you to return virtually anything because they know they never lose money just dealing with the sheer quantity that they deal with. You as a small business just don't have that luxury. That's why manufacturing at a smaller capacity is ideal for people getting involved in small business. Number one, you don't need spaces like this. We don't need to watch endless videos of people unboxing just loads and loads of crap, hoping to find that one gem. You're better off looking at products that maybe already exist, that are not patented and could be made better. Or better yet, come from overseas, you implement a different design. I've seen it done numerous times and it takes off. These are ideas to make you think, guys. These are ideas to make you understand that the reason many of these guys, and I watch this as well, they'll say they've got in their eBay store thousands upon thousands of items to hopefully make money because that's what they need in quantity. I don't know about you, but I would rather sell quality items with less items that I can mark up a lot more so I don't need as many in my store. And that is what I do. I actually have about 350 items. I get asked that a lot. Your store is extensive. Actually, it's not. It's very small in considering what's out there. The reason it is because I'm a purveyor of what I do. Everything I design, everything I work with myself. Why? Because when you ask a question, then I have an answer. That's what makes me good at what I do. In what I feel you should be held responsible for as a vendor. A lot of these guys, they have no idea what they're selling. There's no way any of these people know what's in every box that he has other than the item itself in a visual description. That's it. So you have to think about that. You have to think about where you want to go and what you want to do. You know, here, I listed 8 items daily. What does it say? On eBay for 7 months, this is how much I made. I mean, 8 items daily. Many of you are just starting a business. You may not have time to list 8 items daily, but you may have time to list one really good product that you've made. The robots helped you. You've automated the process. You figured out packaging. And guess what? You're making money. And then you build upon that. And that's something that we're seeing, and we're seeing it a lot more, that these guys that are just doing direct flipping on eBay, they're dissipating quickly. Why? Because there's going to come a point where you filling your shelves with endless crap, you're either going to run out of room run out of money due to the fact that you have to still pay for that room, whether it's on your property or not. Most of them are not, once again, having these storage facilities on their property. So all you're doing is backfilling and backfilling and backfilling, hoping for when stuff sells. They try to make stuff move faster. They liquidate. They do all this crap. And then they complain about, not making money. They're not making money because there's 100 people doing the same thing. Think outside the box. Be the manufacturer. Do not be a cog in the wheel, because once you think like that, you become them. And that's why many of them are hoping to sell 10, 15 items a day. I don't need to sell 10, 15 items a day if I'm doing my job and I'm making sure that what I have, it is a lot more than direct flip. You need support. You need to understand it. A lot of people don't look at that. Carpenters that I work with, people that are dealing with home renovations. A lot of my clients deal with larger companies in terms of bathroom remodeling, kitchen remodeling, cabinetry. These are fields that, as a skill set as a carpenter, these are expensive trades to implement. So do you think that they're going to make the same amount of money as a guy who's selling a beanie on eBay? I mean, come on. We have to look at this from the right perspective. If you do what everyone else does, what result do you get? You figured it out. I mean, many of you are already figuring it out. That's why this robotics trend is happening so quickly. I see it every day. I get asked about it every day. What do I recommend for products? Is there a way to mitigate spending so much on products? The big way for you to think, I feel, if you're just starting out, is figure out a real simple design, whether it be a bracket, something that's functional. I always say it, functional parts make you the most money. But overall, think outside the box. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Because if you look at the facts, I would say about 90% of America works 40 plus hours a week. And out of 90% plus of America, how many people are, number one, happy doing that? And number two, where are they? Look at who's telling you what to do. Does having a store with 7,000 products sound logical? I mean, you're not Walmart. Do you want to be Walmart? I mean, look at all the headaches. Everything is scalable. That means that, yeah, you might make more money. You're going to have a lot more problems. We always watch these videos on YouTube. I always get a kick out of wealth videos. A lot of these wealth videos talk about, $1 million today isn't a lot of money. And I always think in my head, to who? To who is it not a lot of money? The guy driving 5 Lamborghinis that is showing you a picture on YouTube that is wanting you to believe those are his cars, and necessarily we don't know. He might have rented them. Or are we to believe that in general, normal terms, everyday terms, the average working person, the blue-collar guy, the tradesman, the craftsman, the maker, the engineer, whoever it may be, $1 million is absolutely life-changing, just with the interest alone, if it's invested properly. No different than those of you investing in a production robot with an idea. If someone with an idea and the consistency to follow through with that idea is dangerous with that robot, he will make a dent. That's the difference between truth and the difference between what we see in Hollywood here with 98% of the YouTube listings we see here with different videos talking about guys buying, jackpot of a lifetime found at a garage sale. Incorporate the costs. Drive around. Gas is $5 a gallon. Wear and tear on your vehicle. Trying to haggle, get the best deal you can. I'm not saying there's not times to do that. Hey, every one of us have been out shopping and found a great deal. That's different. But I'm talking about making it your life. That doesn't sound appealing to me. And most of you would rather have an automated process that you control, because the more control you have as a business owner, the more you control your destiny. What these people don't understand is every time they go to sell on eBay a product that they don't understand themselves, the client at that point has more control over them, because they'll ask questions that they may know more on that product. And guess what? Now they're in trouble. Because if they don't have the right answer, if something happened, they didn't know how to ship, then guess what? You're in trouble. You're either going to be dealing with them constantly, going back and forth, They deal with negative feedback. They deal with a lot of problems because they are failing to look at the business model that they've actually adapted to. Okay? If you're selling iPhones, if you're selling laptops continuously, it's real easy to have people sell this stuff and say, oh, I can make a ton of money doing it. And what they fail to realize is that they don't understand those products at a level for quality control, number one, and also worrying about different types of pilfering and theft online that you don't deal with in terms of in-person sales. You know, you're not going to have somebody expect every product you go to sell. When you create a product yourself, you are the engineer. You are the person that's implementing how that product sells. And that means the packaging. That means how it's sealed. That means tamper-evident labels or whatever you want to implement to make sure that you've got your own proprietary investment protected. And these are things that, I'm sorry to say, most of these people on here do not understand. They don't want to understand. They want to understand I buy 1,000 boxes of crap and I'll list it, and being I'm paying $500 for 1,000 boxes of crap, I'm going to make money on stuff. That's true. You're also going to deal with a lot of headaches, a lot of shipping hassles, a lot of carrier problems because they never master anything. And that's the problem. That's why I tell you guys, master one area. Become a guru on one area. It's much easier. Know the robot. Know what you want to produce. Take some chances with it. Try different products. But best of all your products are digital. In inventory, you don't need 400 racks of shoes. We don't need that. We can have DXF files on a USB drive that we have 5,000 DXF files. Why do you think these eBay sellers are failing? That's why, because of you. Because guys like you and guys like me who understand the engineering side of this is what brings the brilliance to it. I don't need to sell Nikes. I can become Nike. That's the person you want to be afraid of. That's the person you should be thinking like. With the technology we have right now, between all the robots that are available, whether it be 3D printing and additive manufacturing or CNC robotics in general, there's nothing we can't reproduce. The question is who has the idea, who will take the risk in terms of making the investment, and go from there. These are the things we need to look at and really look at what's actually happening when I see things like this, these return pallets for sale. There's tons of videos of this crap. I bought a pallet for $525 and I got $6,500 selling everything. We don't know if that's true, number one. And number two, what we really don't know is if any lawsuits are coming up, which I can tell you right now, Gillette just filed a lawsuit on somebody selling a return pallet of Gillette razors. Why? Because it's proprietary. You're not going to get away with it long, guys. Think about it, what I'm telling you. And that's why I say there's a lot of benefit to owning your own robot. A lot less monetary investment. You learn at your own pace. You're not taking risks. They can spend $500 on a pallet and get a bunch of, tablecloths. Who knows? And what are you going to do then? Well, retail value might be worth, $3,000 in tablecloths. How many people you think need tablecloths? How long are you sitting on that inventory? Where are you storing that inventory? Is it on your property? Because if it's not, you're paying for that as well. They don't tell you all this. They don't tell you all the ins and outs and how many returns. And here you go, I got a Vero strike. For those of you not familiar with Vero on eBay, that's basically where eBay is saying that you're selling products that are proprietary and the manufacturer is pissed that you're selling those products. They will close your account down. Okay, you're selling Rolex, you're selling all these name brand products, Apple products. I'm telling you, think wisely. Take your time. Read. Do your due diligence and think about what makes sense. You don't want to make $10 a day. You want to make, in my eyes, I want to have that robot take a file and produce out of $10, $15 in raw material. Could be a 60-40, a 60-90 CNC robot, and cut out whatever you need, whether it be working with carbon fiber, which of course would be a higher investment, but the yield would be massive, or deal with functional components, or deal with cosmetic components. I have certain clients that deal with a lot of carpentry, deal with cabinetry. These are things that are low risk because you're in control. So again, I hope that this video has been helpful to those who are serious about getting a small business off the ground. And believe you me, I'm not a millionaire. I'm not. I don't want anyone to believe that. I certainly don't want anyone to believe that all the ones on YouTube that we see are necessarily millionaires either. But I'll say this. You don't have to be a millionaire to think like one or to practice the same principles that they do. It just depends on how long you do it to get to that level. Just remember that. Think about it like that. We all start somewhere. And once we start thinking like that, we start implementing different things that the rich do implement, we will become more wealthy. It'll happen over time. You just got to be consistent. So again, if you guys have questions, comments, or require consultations, you can message me direct at storm2313@gmail.com. You can also message me through my eBay store. I'll have links in the beginning of the video and at the end. Thank you for your support. Take care.